Hello and hello. Welcome back to another episode of this EGM browsing magazine thing. So last time when I did the other one, the December 2000 issue, like a couple days ago, I was gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna do two of these, but I was like, no, it's too long. Uh, but so made it. I was like, I'm gonna make a part two of it. So here's the part two. That video might have sucked, but maybe this will be better. Like I said before, if you didn't watch the other one, the last one was December 2000, and now this one is dated July 2001, and it's a smaller magazine compared to the other one. And so, yeah, around this time, like 2001 obviously was a huge year for gaming. I think the Xbox first Xbox, some of the best games of all time, Metal Gear Solid 2, everything, Melee, fuck, just like one of the best years basically. So as you can see here on this cover, we got some of the features. Game Boy Advance, every launch game reviewed and everything previewed can survive a toilet flush. Siphon Filter 3 unveiled. GameCube Star Wars, Pokemon Crystal, and Final Fantasy and Tomb Raider behind the scenes of these summer flicks. And I really like this cover because it's like Mario was holding the Game Boy Advance and it's motion blurred to shit. I think, is that like the generic Mario Nintendo 64 era Nintendo render that they used? Like all the time. Regardless, it shouldn't take that long. So, ATV Hot Road Fury. Personally, for me, I actually own the sequel to ATV Off Road Fury because every time I would go to the orthodontist office, I would play. Well, they had like a room with games and stuff, but I always liked to play this game when I went there. So when I got a PS2, I bought it, and yeah, it's fun. I'd recommend it. Anyways, Alone in the Dock. It's for Game Boy Color. Ooh. I don't know, a Game Boy Color had like a bunch of weird ports of mature games, so regardless, here's the editorial. It's smaller. Oh god. The new old guy in town. Hello. Some of you regular readers may remember me from such magazines as Electronic Gaming Monthlies 82 through 130. I disappeared around this time last year to flirt with a dot-com seductress, only to discover that she was all talk and no future. Luckily for me, EGM was enough to ask me back after a lot of pleading and begging and bribing of my parts. Even better, the only spot open was the editor-in-chief position, so they decided to tempt fate and put me on there. Suckers. If I may blah 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 for a bit, EGM has always been the industry leader among gaming mags. We gave gamers our first look at a bit of Super Nintendo Entertainment System in 1989. We broke on 3DO's 32-bit console in 1993. Okay, maybe we didn't end up being such a big deal. We showed the world's first shots of Street Fighter 3 in 1996. We surprised everyone this year with the first images of Microsoft's Xbox February issue and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 last month. We have always set the standards and pushed for the boundaries, and I'm not going to break that trend. What I promise you, the reader, is an authoritative, groundbreaking, news scoop, and unbiased kick booty magazine, and I promise you, we're going to have a lot of fun reading it too. We're not a bunch of pompous editors, except maybe our new editor, John Kim, after you read enough of your love letters, who like to show how much of a hooked up we are in the industry or how controversial we are. We can be, or how much badass hardcore are we? We are just a bunch of guys and one gal who knows the business and loves games almost more than life itself, and enjoy writing about them. In the upcoming issues, look for some semi-radical changes to happen. EGM's headed towards some great times, and we hope you'll be there with us. And if you don't like what we are and what we're doing, you can always let me know at monkey@kissmyass.com. Just kidding, of course. As always, we value your opinion. Really, really do. Please give us your feedback at egm@ziffdavis.com. So for this month, take a gander inside to see some of the goodies we cooked up for you. Pay attention to the Game Boy Advance stuff. Our 8 pages are too much to spend on a mere handheld system. Well, considering the old Game Boy Color platform is the world's most popular game system ever, did you know that last year's Game Boy/Game Boy Color sales made up 40% of the hardware sales? We don't think so. Game Boy Advance is going to be nothing short of a phenomenon. Trust us. Yeah, I guess so. Why not? I mean, it wasn't as big as Game Boy, especially like Pokemon, but I don't know. I wasn't really born during that time, so I'm not one to judge, really. By the way, your luck just right off the bat, I'm offering some free gifts. Look around the issue for either Simpsons or a movie reference. Actually, this issue has at least 3 because I got a little overzealous, but you need to give me one. Not counting anything in our summer movie double feature. Find the reference, email us at EGM@ziffdavis, subject July issue, eat my shorts, and we'll pick up 5 folks to send them a copy of this issue's review crew. I might actually do that. Some Game Boy Color ads. I guess Capcom. So here's some Game Boy Color ads. I guess Capcom really liked the Game Boy Color with all these ads. As Shantae. Shouldn't Shantae be here? Like, didn't that come out like 2002? I believe 2001, around this time. And biggest mistakes. Here's an ad for Final Fantasy Chronicles, Final Fantasy IV, and Chrono Trigger. It's that kind of like package stuff. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Features. Game Boy Advance. By the way, it's really small. Like, I think this is smaller than the thing, so I may struggle a bit reading. I promise I'm better. Game Boy Advance, here it is. The ultimate guide to Nintendo's ultimate handheld. We do the usual stuff, such as review the launch games and preview everything else. But, was that? You say you want to know which battery program lasts longer? How much abuse the system could take? Which multiplayer games are getting worth getting? We answer all that in Time Gone, page A2. So, I believe it was out in Japan in June of 2001, and I think it came out in the United States later in like August, I believe. And we got Final Fantasy Spirits Within. Yes, EGM Summer Double Feature. The billion-buck movie and the game business are colliding in a way this summer. So we tracked on the sets of Tomb Raider and Final Fantasy if these game flicks will be any good. Not really, no. Crazy Taxi. I love Crazy Taxi. Who fucking doesn't love Crazy Taxi? Ever get the urge to haul a carload of mimes across the town? Then don't bathe for a week. Don your cowboy cap and take a look at the summer Super Dreamcast sequel on. Oh, okay. I never actually played Crazy Taxi 2. I kind of forget it exists. I think I forgot. Driving Gran Turismo 2, 3. I love that game. I like 4 better, but good game. It seems like the years since we first saw the early GT3 demos running. But now we're ready to kick the tires and light the fires with the Japanese release. Want to know what to do? Wondering what the other cars polyphony can do shoehorned in this game at the last minute? We'll tell all this issue. It's our pleasure, really. The original Twisted Metal Black, the original creators of the franchise were tired of watching the brainchild go down the tubes, so they got the game back together to right what was wrong. The end result, the stickiest, most demented edition of the franchise ever. So I don't know. I never played Twisted Metal. Did they like release a game that sucked on the PlayStation, and then this is like the reboot? I should play Monkey Island. So here's, I'm not sure if this is a Nintendo ad or a Target ad, but Shepard, I don't fucking know, like Pope Shepard playing Game Boy. Cool, I guess. Alright, hold on. Disenchanted, alright, letter. Alright, the letters column that everybody loves. So, Disenchanted Gamer has visions of Xbox. I have been listening to all the buzz about the next wave of gaming systems, with a little interest. Don't get me wrong, I am a fan of EGM and own a lot of games. I'm just not excited about the coming technology as most people are. Dare I say that I am one of the many who are becoming too comfortable with current video games? I hope this does not stir a flood of emails that ask, how can you just sit there? It's a great time to be alive for gamers. Yes, I bought a PlayStation, Nintendo 64, and Dreamcast right away, and I waited in line for a PlayStation 2. But in retrospect, I feel I may have fallen for all the hype. The other day, however, I saw it. Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance demo is running next to the wall with pre-order tickets. The only people playing it were a 9-year-old and his mom was looking at me suspiciously. Look, I was thinking, I'm just curious to see how it plays and feels. But I started to feel like Nintendo had already gotten me to, no! I told myself, I will not play this machine. It will be released, sold out, and then re-released, and then I'll pick it up. You don't have to run with the pack. Then it happened. The 9-year-old and his eyeballing mom moved and I stood there. I held up for a second and then I played the Game Boy Advance for a bit. And I liked it. Later one morning, while dragging the garbage to the curb, I had a vision. This has got to be the first time in video game history that a vision appeared before one of the gaming's own lost souls. I dropped the garbage and fell to my knees, threw to my arms and said, oh, Bill Gates, I believe your machine is coming to dominate. Which brings me to the point of this email. I am a true believer now. I will be in the line to help support the video game industry. I will be one of the army of millions to help the Xbox and others grow to become a wonderful game system. I'm sorry I gave up hope before. We have lots of readers laminating on the fact that they aren't sure what the new system to buy, or the lack of a wow factor from the crop of PS2 titles currently available. But you are first to claim some sort of mystical inspiration to answer your quandary. While we don't doubt your revelation, we caution you that if submitting it for us publications, you are setting yourself for an influx of gamers swarming all over your property seeking the same sort of inspiration you claim. Good luck. Reader needs help, doesn't need help. Reader needs help, doesn't need help. Just so you know, games just don't excite me anymore. I'm not sure what it is, but the thrill I got while playing games like Shinobi, Zelda, A Link to the Past, Street Fighter 2, even more recent releases like Suikoden, Gran Turismo, and Final Fantasy 7, just isn't there anymore. This can't be. Gaming is life for me. Maybe not exactly life, but at least my number one hobby. Please, somebody help me. Maybe it's the out in good games lately, especially on the PS2 front. What are they talking about? That's what, well, I guess at this time, yeah, it's shit to look forward to. Especially on the PS. I do have the Gran Turismo 3 and Twisted Metal Black to look forward to in the near future. And please tell me that Dark Cloud is at least a good game. Hey, wait a minute. I also have Devil May Cry, Final Fantasy X, Metal Gear Solid 2, Virtua Fighter 4, Ace Combat 4, Silent Hill 2, The Getaway, and a number of PS2 games to look forward to this year. Now that I think about it, it's not really as bad as all. Crisis averted. Get back to work, guys. I don't need your help after all. From FlyGuyLX at AOL.com. The response is, phew, that was a close one. We had already scrambled the choppers on a full-on elite squad of high crisis and interdiction specialists. We take these situations seriously, you know. No. Expect to be able to cover the helicopter and jump to rentals. Alright. MotoGP fan urges to keep it real. Namco's MotoGP is one of the best and most underrated games for the PlayStation 2. Is there any word of a sequel? I would love to see it updated riders and teams with more tracks, improved customization of the bikes. Keep it real, from Kevin R. Exacgnant TalisPlanet.net. The response was, good news, Kevin. A little while ago, Namco revealed to investors, you turn the page, that they were doing a whole bunch of new sequels. A new MotoGP among them. As far as keeping it real, rest assured it is being kept as real as humanly possible. Alright, Weepy Gamer Puzzled. Just a couple of days ago, I bought Unreal Tournament for my PS2. Something weird has been happening lately. I will be playing on the Facing World stage, and then after 10 or 15 minutes, I have to pause the game because my eyes suddenly start to get extremely teary. For some reason, it was only on that stage too. I was just wondering if you have any advice on how to stop this problem. From Lugary at yahoo.com. Secondhand buyer, PSO'd at Sega. I bought Phantasy Star Online used on eBay. However, I had no idea about the serial number restrictions. You can only enter these once into a Dreamcast. Why would Sega completely do away with any resale value of their most promising games? And not to blame you, but I have not mentioned it earlier. I feel sad, hurt, and disillusioned. Warning to everyone else who wanted to buy a used copy of Phantasy Star Online. Sega made so each disc could only be used on a specific Dreamcast. Once the serial numbers were entered, the info stored in your DC's internal memory and on the servers, try as you might, you cannot later take this disc to play online on another machine. Why would Sega do this? To help curb piracy. You can't register the same disc multiple times, so this certainly discouraged any would-be bad guys from pulling the disc. Sorry to find you out, this had to be on the bad way. Man, why is this dude defending the shitty things? Obviously, everyone remembers the used game crisis of like 2012. EA had that thing, Xbox One used game thing. Sega trying to combat piracy on the Dreamcast, the system which you can infamously play burn discs on. Yeah. It's here. A question at the moment. What Sega games do you want to see the most on Xbox? Knights! The game was incredibly fun on the Sega. Think of what the console as powerful as the Xbox could do with it. Do it with the right controller. Crazy Taxi. Oh yeah, and Crazy Taxi 2 from Strongwind 316 at AOL.com. I don't want Sega just porting over Dreamcast games. I already have a Dreamcast. Let's see exciting new games and sequels. Shenmue 3 on Xbox. Oh, you poor soul. Slothborn at AOL.com. Every Dreamcast game and arcade game that Sega never brought home, like Gunblade NY, should be brought to the Xbox. Sega, please stick with Xbox Genesis and Saturday games on PlayStation, please, at Aju49 at Hotmail. Virtua Hamster, Jammin' is the best at Hotmail.com. Of course, it would have to be the classics. Duh, Sonic, Virtua Fighter 4, the whole Sega Sports 2K series, and my personal dream, Skies of Arcadia 2. Poor souls here. Oh, these poor fucking souls. Drooling Time at Kilbeak at 2K1 at SegaNet.com. 3 words. Soul Calibur X. Never mind. That's 2 words. COD Trimmy 3. Sega on Xbox? I'd rather see them on PS2. But if I had to make a choice, I'd go with Phantasy Star at jetcrind87 at hotmail.com. I couldn't care less what the games show up on Xbox, but I wouldn't mind sending them all over the PS2. NHL Flyers 03 at hotmail.com. Hellish Blunder in Charlie's Angels. I recently discovered a mistake in the movie Charlie's Angels. When Drew Barrymore is naked, she runs to a house where two kids are playing on the video game together. Guess what? One of those poor boys is out of luck because they were playing Final Fantasy VIII, a one-player game, at o2athletic at AOL.com. Yeah, I heard about that tweet. I saw that on on Twitter. I like the Charlie's Angels movies, by the way. They're pretty good. I don't think the new one was that good. Thanks for the heads up. We've contacted the good people at Columbia Pictures, and they have agreed to reshoot the scene in question and re-release in the theaters nationwide as a special director's cut version of the DVD. We suggest they replace Final Fantasy VIII with either Mr. Domino or Mr. Driller. E.G. Mullets in demand. In the November 1999 issue of EGM 124, Crispy celebrated the occasion with his customary launch day roulette haircut. If it's a customary launch day haircut, where was the mullet during the PlayStation 2 launch? We readers demand to see Crispin and the rest of the crew even Stewart in mullet's greatness once more. From wouldve at hotmail.com. Do you see that picture over there? Camaro cut, ape drape, business up front, party in the back, Kentucky waterfall, high-low, whatever you may call it, the mullet is king. And back in the day, features editor Crispin Beyer was a proud owner of this crown of glory. As the others, check out this month's final word. Let's just say, we know how to play. We know how to welcome back. God, I want to read those small things. Hold on. Direct to the point. Here they are. This month's shorts. Will the Game Boy or Game Boy Color games work on Game Boy Advance? Almost all of them will, yes. But like in Japan, there are very few select few that will work. Is anybody still working on IQ Remix for the PlayStation 2? It's not on Japan, but the publisher hasn't picked it up for US release. EGM crew on debut on the silver screen. Hey, I was reading the article on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Pro Skater 3, EGM 134, and I was signed for the theater in a screenshot that said, Rear Admiral starting the EGM crew. What's up with that? While we here at EGM pride ourselves in the laws of gaming, our creativity is not limited to the printed page. The pic you refer to is a homage to the theatrical debut of a soon-to-be classic in which the game gets itself in many of sticky situations. We can't reveal that much more than right now, but look for the title and video game soon. Sure, soon. Hint. It'll be in the little room with cowboy doors in the back of the store. Oops. We know. It's hard for us to believe too, but occasionally we do make a mistake. Here are some items we felt needed sorting out. Last issue we were a tad bit liquored up and forgot to run the Crazy Tactic 2 on Xbox coverage we featured on the cover. Well, maybe not. Actually, we received word on the game, but no solid confirmation. And even though some of the poor schmuck was able to go home early, since we haven't been able to write it up, we forgot to remove it from the cover. On page 52 of the June issue, incorrectly listed Keith Harper's last name as Golvalis from our RPG Maker contest. Keith reviewed an honorable mention in the coolest character category for his entry, Robot Go Home. We really messed up on his 50 minutes of fame, didn't we? And here's some arts. And I think this is interesting. Right here, you see this comic? It's Snake and Sonic, and it predates Brawl by like 7 years. So is that like a coincidence? Pretty crazy, but that's crazy in my opinion. And then this is like Resident Evil, Pokemon. Yeah, so pretty cool. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 for the Game Boy. The Game Boy. Oh, here we go. This is like a one of those things for Red Faction. I don't know what this game is. Some communist Cold War game, I guess. There's Silent Hill 2. Bleem arrives. The emulator Sony doesn't want you to play is released for Dreamcast. I've never heard of this, but Bleem. Emulator for unofficial homebrew. Cool. I want a Dreamcast. Bloody Roar 3. Oh, these games come, dude. This game's fucking nuts. Good game. These damn trains, man. So, gaming gossip once again. Alright. Did you hear Mr. Q? It's another short one this match, so maybe I should get to it. Oh, okay. Bad news for N64 owners. In addition to not having much to look forward anyway, Treasure action shooter Sin and Punishment is no longer coming to the US from Nintendo or anyone else. N64 is dead in Japan. Animal Force is most likely the last game from Nintendo over there, and soon to be dead in the US. But why pass up the opportunity to give them all a good game? By the way, if you didn't know, Animal Crossing is, if you didn't know, Animal Forest is Animal Crossing before it came out in Japan. Debatsu no Mori is Animal Crossing. Animal Forest in Japan. Lots of cool GameCube stuff happening. First one, when Spiky Blue Hedgehog is in talks to appear in Nintendo's Smash Brothers sequel. Holy shit. Will it happen? It looks good, so the other Q's keeping his fingers crossed. Everybody knows Sonic and Melee rumor, April Fools, but I believe there were talks. They would have been put in along with Snake, but yeah. A Sonic game is heading to GameCube, whether or not using Smash Bros. Miyamoto has a bunch of GameCube projects on his plate, including a super secret game called Piki. Whoa there, wait till E3. I wonder if that's probably Pikmin. It most likely is, like the code name or whatever. That one. But let me tell you, it's cool. The fine peeps over at Activision are on board for a Cube 2 with titles in the works. Tony Hawk and Spider-Man, based on the movie this time. In addition to GameCube Resident Evil 0, a completely real-time version of the first Resident Evil is headed to GameCube and PS2. That's true, but it was only GameCube exclusive for a while. With other areas, the fine folks down at LucasArts have been keeping Quartermeister's personal favorites, Full Throttle and Maniac Mansion, will soon be landing on the PS2, possibly other platforms too, while Obi-Wan and Starfighter Special Edition, an update to the PS2 game, are headed to Xbox. Speaking of Xbox, don't tell anyone, but Project KX from Dream Factory is really an Xbox exclusive fighter. Bruce Lee, The Quest of the Dragon. Never heard of it. Metal Gear Solid 2 watch. Send your Metal Gear Solid 2 questions, information to EGM, XF Davis. Metal Gear Solid 2 watch. Hey, what about the voice actors from the original Metal Gear Solid? Will they be back from Metal Gear Solid 2? Although Konami kept mum on the subject, EGM has confirmed through outside sources that yes, indeedly members of the original US voice acting crew will return for MGS2. Christopher Fritz as Otacon, Patrick Lane as Revolver Ocelot, and most importantly, David Hayter as Solid Snake. I don't think that the original Revolver Ocelot voices in Metal Gear Solid 2. I'm pretty sure most of the time Metal Gear Solid usually has like a different Ocelot actor for each game, but that's different. I must have played the playable MGS2 demo included with Zone of the Enders 1,000 times. Is there anything more I can do with it? Sure. If you have a PS2 Game Shark, there are even cool items you can't get otherwise. Try a guard uniform on for size. Blow up the wet bar for some C4 and go nuts in the storage room. Look at the melons blowed up, Matt. Mal, with a fully loaded FMAS rifle, first enter the cord. code. It must work on the other's code. Wait a second, can I use these codes to cheat on the incredible score on Konami's MGS2 demo internet rankings page? Yeah, actually, there is a way to use the Kill Ogre with any other hit code to lower your time and boost your score, but Konami claims they have been cracking down on dishonest registration codes and removing them from the ranking pages, adding that Hideo Kojima and his staff are disappointed and sad that people have been trying to cheat. Are you happy? You made Kojima cry? Hope you're proud of yourself, cheater. Everybody knows MGS2 hype. Ad for Circle of the Moon. You know, I don't really like it, to be honest, but it's a good game. I don't really like it. It's flawed. Oh, it's the same tobacco ad from earlier. Oh, the bouncer. One of the best on games. Go. Here's the slip. Cool. Here's, yeah, Game Boy Advance was new at the time. As you see. Yeah. Games. This month the previews. This interface almost didn't get to printer on time. We had to pry off Gran Turismo 3's reel before it gets to work. Oh yeah, E3 big year. Obviously Solid Snake, Metal Gear. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, look at this. The who could forget the Good Hedgehog and Bad Hedgehog campaign for Sonic Adventure. You can see those ads, and it's like Sonic's good, this one's bad. Who is this man? I don't know. Sonic's evil double. Play as Shadow, Sonic's evil double, and conquer the world. That's kind of false advertising, I guess, because they all get together and. I guess they all get together, or something like that. They all make up in the end. But yeah, Sonic Adventure 2 is awesome. Yeah, look at this Y2K as fuck ads here. All these games. $100 for a Dreamcast, that's pretty cheap compared to what comes out these days. Oh yeah, here it is. This is interesting. This is, like I said earlier, this is a preview of Animal Crossing from the Nintendo 64 before it came out. Before it became known as Animal Crossing, Animal Forest. It's kind of hard to believe that, kind of forget that Animal Crossing was on the GBA at first, because it's more like it does not look like a N64 game. Like, it's kind of crazy that they were able to put so much in. On April 14th, Nintendo released a quirky new game called Dobotsu no Mori, Animal Forest. One of the most offbeat let's see what else. Ever to grace the aging black box. Instead of shooting guns, racing cars, or saving X world from Y evil ruler, your character in Animal Forest lives for the simple things, like planting gardens, catching fish, and working part-time for spare cash, and of course, playing video games. See sidebar. You see, Animal Forest isn't like anything you played before. It's got a top-down view that's sort of like a 3D evolution of Super NES Zelda, and in its core, it feels kind of like an RPG. But in reality, it's an entirely different animal. Sorry, we had to. Animal Forest is what Nintendo calls a communication game. The entire game takes place in a village, and there are no two alike. So essentially, everyone who purchased the game has their very own town to live in with its own layout. It's their own characters. Heck, even some of the own fruits and insects. 4 players can move into your village. I.e., there are 4 safe slots on every cart, and to visit other people's village, save your data on a controller pack and use it with their cart. So what exactly do you do in this village? Basically, it's just about anything you want. You can fish, play games, listen to music, dig for treasure, collect insects, chop down trees, build an orchard or a garden, get a part-time job, send and receive letters, post messages on the town bulletin board, decorate your home with one of the few hundreds of different places of pieces of furniture you can on the stock market. You can play in the stock market. There are plenty of time-specific events too. Thanks to the game's built-in clock, even if you turn your game at 10 a.m. on May 15th, it's 10 a.m. on May 15th on the game world as well. The environment changes along with the seasons. There are special fairs and holiday celebrations and so on. Things often happen when you're not playing too, so it's a good idea to check in often. We've barely scratched the surface of Animal Force and we're already out of room. But to sum things up, this is one of the most unique games to come along in quite some time. And while it may not be for everyone, it's got an undeniable charm that simply can't be ignored. Fortunately, it seems that Nintendo America would agree. According to the game's producer Takeshi Tezuka, an overseas version is already in the works, which means the chances of this stream showing up in the US later this year are pretty good. The GameCube version of Animal Crossing was made specifically for the West, and I think it got localized for Japan. Alright, this is what they have to say: the good, the bad, the ugly. Cute graphics, charming gameplay, no bosses, no blood, very little action, but is that so bad? The ugly, your face after getting stung by bees, after, basic stuff. Half-Life, like I said earlier, Half-Life for the PS2, Half-Life for the PS2 came, wasn't very that good. I mean, most Half-Life fans would agree the PS2 version sucks ass. I don't know why. Like I said, this one is pretty short, but it may actually be a longer video than the one I made. For this one. So here it is, I believe. Game Boy Advance, the hot new system at the time. Let's see what they have to say. So here it says, Game Boy Advance endurance test. So here's the endurance test. Drop on floor, both on carpet and pavement. The GBA took its ticking, kept on ticking, no problemo. Get wet, we knocked over our water. This is beer right there. On our Game Boy Advance and waited 15 seconds to see if we find a towel, dry it off. Bring, it still lives. What if you leave your GBA by the campfire? Dad using it as an ashtray. Despite some blistering and melting and under 30 seconds of flame, our GBA didn't care. The fire still worked fine. Step on. 218-pound news editor Chris Johnston put all his wet on our unlucky Game Boy, and it's still okay. And then the toilet. This is the big one that they were advertising. Along with the long lines and road trips, the can be one of the places the GBA is made for. But what happens when the ultimate nightmare comes true? You drop your Game Boy into the murky depths and flush. We donned the rubber gloves, and after waiting one full flush, quickly snatched the Game Boy, discovered it still worked for 4 or 5 seconds. The next day, it still only played for a few seconds for dying, but then, probably 3 days later, it worked good as new. Amazing. And it says, don't try this at home. And so here it is, the 2 blockbuster double features. I think Square Enix got the rights. So we got Tomb Raider, obviously. I believe you remember, obviously, Spirits Within. They were advertising I don't remember her name. They were advertising the Spirits Within lady protagonist as like, this is gonna be the next big movie star. This is gonna be the Sigourney Weaver, Ripley. It's gonna be the Sigourney Weaver of video games, and obviously that didn't come to fruition. They should make a Spirits Within
Final Fantasy 14 event. Everybody knows about game movies. Games are a great source of characters and stories, says Lloyd Levin, producer of the summer's Tomb Raider movie. And we have a big responsibility here to make sure this turns out right, so people see the potential. Levin knows the score. Previous movie to games translations like Super Mario Bros. And Street Fighter have turned out less fantastic, more sarcastic, but he's betting this big budget Lara Croft Tomb Raider starring Angelina Jolie in a, dare we say it, titular role will buck this ugly trend. And you better believe the folks at Square Pictures, the Hawaii-based studio that's crafting July's Final Fantasy The Spirits Within, feel the same way. This summer, like $1 billion movie and game industries are colliding like never before. These two high-profile picks, unlike most of the games that celluloid crud we've suffered through in the past, Raider and Final Fantasy are B movies. I guess the quality, both flicks pack production value and star power well beyond stuff like Double Dragon and even the fairly respectable Mortal Kombat. And if the movies hit the summer box office motherlode, you can bet they'll blaze into trail through the gold rush of future-related flicks, a few of which already reign over the hills. A potential golden age of movies notwithstanding, you probably only care about one thing: the sweltering popcorn season. These flicks are any good, so grab an aisle seat. I mean, I guess we have the golden age right now. Sonic and Pikachu were good. When Square's Final Fantasy VII hit the PlayStation in 1997, its use of computer-generated imagery, CGI, changed the way people looked at video games forever. At the same time, Square was getting its feet wet, crafting Final Fantasy VII CGI cutscenes. Moviegoers packed theaters to see the first truly digital cinema masterpiece, Disney Pixar's Toy Story. This got Final Fantasy director Hinobu Sakaguchi creative juices flowing, and a movie version of Final Fantasy was put in motion. No longer held back by the limits of game hardware, Sakaguchi assembled a team consisting of Hollywood's top digital artists at Square Productions Pictures Honolulu, Hawaii City to push technology and filmmaking to its limits. Just outside the windows is a breathtaking view of the Pacific Ocean. But you wouldn't know, on each floor, the drapes are pulled and sheets cover window. The only light comes from the screens of the high-end SGI Octane computers. In the basement lie 960 supercharged CPUs, which take on the complex job of rendering the entire movie digitally. The result is 96 minutes of jaw-dropping, and the story too, called Final Fantasy The Spirits Within, which hits theaters July 11th. Obviously, I think it flopped badly. When you see the film's digital actors on screen, you're really watching 3 actors per character. The first are Hollywood cavalier voice talents: Alec Baldwin, Mina, James Woods, Donald Sutherland, Steve Buscemi, Perry Gilpin, and Ving Rhames. 16 camera motion capture system. Here it is. Sorry, Mr. Lucas, these characters are way more convincing than any goofy-looking Gungan. Yeah. And here are some rumors, I guess. What's in production? They were going to make Resident Evil. That was a thing, obviously. I don't know why they made like 5 of them, like 3 or 5, I don't know, 4. They made a lot. Why? Soul Calibur. I don't know if that was a thing. Gex? Dude, we could have had a fucking Gex movie. Also Duke Nukem. That's still in production, obviously. Development hell. Oh, but we could have had a fucking Gex movie. I would have watched that. And that was the end, I believe. So that was the end of the magazine. Now, this was longer than my previous one, I believe. So, yeah, that was EGM Monthly. Thanks for watching the video if you got this far.
Alright, see ya.